everybody, happy Sunday, each one of you. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday. It's extremely hot over here in La Laguna. So, well, I hope you're having at least a cooler day than us. Yeah, so do you suffer from verb-o-rhea? Huh? And let me just tell you what I'm saying about this. The thing is that this is a phrase that I loved from my wife, actually. So when we were, this happened actually, or this came up when we were at the beginning, maybe at the beginning of the relationship, like having some like our conflicts, when you're just balancing the relationship. I just have to establish here, I love my wife. She's amazing. I am extremely happy, grateful for having such an amazing wife. But of course, as usual, relationships, well, you have to just, know how to negotiate, right? Yeah. But at the beginning, when we were starting, really balancing our marriage, she said something that I actually loved. She just said, it's because whenever I was asking, because sometimes I got kind of desperate, and he's like, okay, so what's wrong with you? What's going on? And she's like, no, nothing, wait. I'm like, okay, what's the usual, right? But she said something like, no, it's because, sorry, because I suffer from verb-o-rhea. I'm sorry. And I was like, I just laughed, I just cracked with that. And I was like, what's that, right? I don't know where that word came from. But actually what she meant is that she meant that whenever she spoke, she just blew it. She just actually said the wrong thing, all the wrong message. She couldn't actually balance what she was saying. So no, it's not that. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that because it's actually good that she considered not hurting my feelings. But sometimes we just do that without noticing. At least she notices. Sometimes most of us don't, and it's important to actually learn about that, because this is the thing, not everybody needs to hear your voice. Sometimes we just say it because we just love to say something, right? We just love to establish things over there. We just love to speak our minds, and we don't care. Sometimes we just do it because we want to say, I know, I just want to establish what I'm saying, and that's not right. So if you want to avoid that, because I certainly do want to avoid that, and especially for people like myself and maybe you, I don't know, that we love to talk our minds, here's some points that I of course I always try to look for something that's going to be helpful for all of us, and thank you very much for the ones that are connecting right now. Sorry that I hadn't just given some shout outs, of course, like Erica, Lupita, hey, how you doing? And everyone that is connecting, of course, John also that I see over here, Alberto also. Thank you very much for connecting, and especially thank you very much for the ones that are sending messages, for the ones that are sending also some topics. Of course, we're going to consider them all, just to put them in line so that we can actually talk about some different things. And thank you especially to everyone, all the ones from different countries that are contacting us. Thank you very much. So, well, let's continue. So I searched for four different things that actually can help us, and I found something that I was like, hey, this is nice, and this is something that comes from Buddhism. Yogis use that, and it's the 4 gates of communication, or 4 gates of speech. You can look for them like that. It's actually something very interesting, and the main idea about this is that you have to test whatever you're gonna say, whatever comment that you have to just test it and see if it actually goes through those 4 stages. If it goes through those 4 gates or doors or filters, as you want to call them, or anything that you want, but it's got to be these 4 stages in which you got to test whatever you're going to say. So the first gate is it truthful? That's important, because especially now in the times of social media, you receive, I don't know if it's happened to you, but you start receiving messages from here and there and everywhere, and they don't check if the information is actually true, and it's like, okay, let's check this out. How many of you have received that message of, they're going to turn off WhatsApp, and if you don't send this to 20 people, it's going to, whatever, of course it's not going to happen, right? But many people do that because they don't have that, they are not accustomed to checking regularly if things are true. So be very careful with that. That's the first filter. Is it true or not? So if you know that it's true, go to the next filter. The next gate is it really necessary? Yeah, is it necessary for people to know whatever you're gonna say? Yeah, is it information that is crucial for them to maybe for some benefit to happen to them, or maybe something that they needed to know so there's no danger for them or something like that? I mean, it can really happen, right? And then of course we're live and there's a lot of noise, so I'm sorry for that. And so is it necessary? Then go through that filter. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is it appropriate for the time? Is it really appropriate for the time? Because maybe it's not. It's not only the time. Sometimes it's the setting. Sometimes maybe it's private. You gotta say it only to the one person, but you're so eager to say it that it's just there in your mouth. Don't say it. Just don't say it. But if it is, maybe it is something that is very important. You need to say it at that moment. So it's truthful. It's necessary. And it's appropriate for the time. I mean, at that moment, everything goes and it aligns. The universe is there. It's like, okay. So, okay, let's say it. Let's go to the next filter. And the next filter is very important. Can it be said with kindness and compassion? If you're going to say it with kindness and compassion, I really suggest you not to do that, Because, let's face it. Sometimes it's the appropriate thing. It's necessary to be said. But you just don't have to say it that way. You don't have to say, hey, you gotta stop it. Just quit it right now. Maybe you can say, hey, dude, can you just lower it down a little bit? It's the same thing, same message, different state, So mainly those are the 4 filters, and I think those 4 gates work great. They can really help you have better relationships. And let's remember, especially if you're in the same industry as I am, building those relationships strongly, that's number 1. Okay. So I hope that this helps you. It's helped me a lot, of course. And thank you very much for the ones that are connecting, of course. I always appreciate it. If it's something of value and you think someone else needs to listen to this, share it. Yeah, share it so that everyone else can listen to it. So thank you very much, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing Sunday.